Gentlemen, how are we? Ladies and gentlemen, listen, welcome to the Leg Up Straight podcast.
That is unbelievable, Blake. How are you today?
I'm going great, mate.
You're going good.
Yeah, very good, thank you.
We're it seems like the off season has hit us now because we're through Stradbroke Day. We've got
we've got another Group 1 next week.
one more Group 1 next week.
And we still got like black type racing going.
We do.
Civic Stakes in Sydney this weekend.
Yep, Ipswich Cup Day. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
A lot happening.
No, there's still good racing.
there's-
It doesn't go away, and the countdown to like the missile stakes and that, it's on.
It's on.
I think it's only probably about 6 weeks away.
Yeah, well, something like that. It usually, Winks Stakes will be here in no time.
Yeah, first Group 1 of the new season.
Yep. How did you enjoy Stradbroke Day, Blake? We had one of the greatest rides you'll see, one of the greatest futures tickets pulled off you'll see, and James McDonald, 99th Group 1 winner on broadsiding.
Yeah, so changing of the guard maybe. Not yet.
Not yet.
But he's rode 99. The other blokes rode his first.
Yep, 100 between them.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Like, because Zach is probably the heir to the throne.
I think so.
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially. I'm looking forward to seeing what Zach can do, and like we'll talk about it a little bit more in depth in a second about Zach's ride. But I think to do that in your first Group 1 winner, that's a bit of a sign that hey, I'm serious.
Yeah, and fitting the fact that he ends his apprenticeship a Group 1 winning rider.
Yes, true.
Because he wouldn't have had many more chances. He'd have another chance in the Tats Tiara.
Potentially. Whether or not he comes back up and rides.
If he gets a ride, not sure. But, so a lightweight handicap was probably where he was going to break it.
Yep. And
he did it courtesy of a 12 out of 10 ride. I think she probably only wins that race.
If he does that.
3 in 100, maybe?
3 in 100.
I don't know. What do you reckon?
I don't know.
3 in 100. It was a great ride.
Yeah. Like the ride's won the race. Like
the second horse.
How good is she?
She's great. She carried just less than weight for age.
Yep.
She's just going to continue to bring that figure every time she runs it.
Yep.
And then you've got a horse like Steffi Magnetica, who is well and truly on the up. She's one of these 3-year-old fillies. We've got a really good bunch of 3-year-old fillies this year. They keep measuring up, and they've got another Group 1. So
there's a bit of chat about the Everest now, as there always is after a sprinting race. Obviously, last year, Think About It did the Stradbroke Everest double. Is Steffi Magnetica a horse that can reach that height, or probably not yet? Like she's won with 50. Like
potentially, there's 12 slots. Is there 12 slots?
There is 12 slots.
I think one of those slots would be hers.
Yep. Bella Nipotina probably done enough this.
She deserves her slot.
2024.
She's in the top 12.
Yep.
No doubt. But she's a great mare. She just keeps turning up. And she was just beaten by a great ride.
She was. Let's get stuck into the good, the bad, the ugly. Presented by UPC Showdown, Blake. And the good this week was the glaringly obvious, great Zach Lloyd ride on Steffi Magnetica in the Stradbroke. Barrier 15, cut the corner. We'll talk about it a little bit more soon. But the bad.
The UK sprinters, they are shithouse.
Aren't they?
They must be shithouse. Asfura goes over there, put pay to them, wins like a good horse. She's a good horse, but she's not our best.
Yep. And the ugly, I think it was Tony Rasmussen, the greyhound trainer from South Australia. He's kicking dogs. He's been outed for life.
And deservedly so.
I agree.
Piss him off.
Yep. $220,000 fine and a lifetime ban.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I think so. I haven't seen the video. I haven't seen the videos, but kicking at dogs never good.
He should get life for each dog that he kicked.
Yeah, really? You reckon 11? Well, there's 11
11 life sentences.
11 life sentences.
Yeah, fair enough, I reckon.
A few people are saying jail time.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe a bit extreme, but depends how bad the videos were, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got to watch them.
Yep. we sort of spoke about Zach Lloyd's ride already. One other thing I'll quickly just add was the way that they spoke post-race, talking about going over the race with his dad, Jeff, for quite a few hours in the morning. And he said there was we never had the conversation about going down to the fence and cutting the corner. So that wasn't sort of premeditated. And I think him having the balls to do that in his first Group 1, like, there's a live chance to win a Group 1. I think him having the balls to do that, get down to the fence, cut the corner, then get it back out to the middle of the track, that was stuff years ahead of him.
Yeah, it was a big time ride.
There wasn't much, like you saw the head on, there wasn't actually that much room on the point of the corner when he's gone back to the fence originally. There wasn't that much room.
It all just played out perfectly for him, didn't it? It seemed like everything gave way for him to make that run at the perfect time. And I'm not sure if she got to the front. Bella Nipotina headed her, and then she fought back to win.
It was
they
got
Bella Nipotina definitely hit the front.
Yeah, yes, definitely. She got past Villana, who I think Villana probably he was well back, started favourite on the quick back up to 1400. I think maybe just might have seen him out that little bit. I think he's better 1200 metres, that dynamic turn of foot, but maybe he could stamp himself as Godolphin's Everest horse, and Asfura, she could be putting her name in the Everest picture after a win in the King Charles III Stakes.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what they do with her, considering her best form is over 1,000 metres and 1,100 metres, and 1,200 metres could potentially be a stretch. Yep. But that carrot, now that it's dangled out there for everyone, they sort of build their preparations toward such a massive race. So I'd be surprised if they don't try to stretch her out. They have tried to stretch her out in the past.
Yep.
I haven't looked at her form recently, but I'm sure that she has been stretched to 1,200 metres in the past, and it hasn't been within her wheelhouse. But mares, as they get older, they get stronger.
Look at Bella.
You've got horses that can stretch out later in their career. And I would suggest that, given the fact that she's gone over there and won, she would have to have a slot if she wants one.
If she wants one, yep. Tell you what, if she can get a Group 1 victory in Australia, she's worth a pretty penny at the broodmare sales, isn't she?
I think she's worth a pretty penny anyway.
Well, yes, but she can be a dual hemisphere.
There's a Group 1 in her, no doubt. Like,
she's always sort of been like that. People have thought like Oakley played her, or but come the autumn next year, like a Lightning Stakes could be right up her alley. 1,000 metres at Flemington, not too dissimilar to the Royal Ascot.
Yeah, well, if she can, she'll win a Group 1. She'll win a Group 1 in Australia, I have no doubt. Like, even if they can stretch it to 1,200, even if they went to a race like the Sangster or something like that.
Yep. Plenty of options for her.
Hard to beat in a race like that.
Yep. Yeah. That's about it from the good, bad, ugly.
But yeah, you'd say that she's not.
She's not our top 5 sprinters.
She wasn't in the top 5 before she went to the UK and blitzed them.
This is true.
So maybe she's in the top 5 now. She's in the argument now. But for her to go over there and win like she has, it doesn't say much for the UK sprinters.
Yeah, I agree. And I think people did say before the race that it wasn't a vintage year, but maybe they were just sort of being prepared to get beat by the Aussies.
And she even won with Oisin Murphy on her back.
That's right.
That's give her another couple of lengths.
Yeah.
Given his form in Australia.
Oh, in Australia.
He's been bum over here.
Yeah, him and Jamie Spencer.
Oh, Jamie Spencer. He's bad too.
Don't get you started on Jamie Spencer. But, of course, thanks to UPC Showdown for the good, the bad, the ugly. This week it is the Civic Showdown. 12 races across Flemington, Randwick and Ipswich, Blake. You can get a $50 ticket or a $25 entry. And you get 50% of the prize if you're on a $25 ticket. But plenty of money to be won. Last week's winner, 25 smackos.
Yeah, and there's a sneaky suspicion that could have been an industry participant from Warwick Farm.
Yeah. There'd be prawns galore at
Warwick Richie Farm. Callender wrote in his
RaceNet column.
Yeah.
We'll go with
column that there is a suspicion that somebody won a tipping comp.
Yep. Allegedly.
We're thinking the UPC Showdown.
I would suggest that.
Because he did mention 25,000. that was the winning prize. Yep. So, So if you're listening to this show, you know who. What was his username?
TGM1.
TGM1. If you know who TGM1 is, get in touch with us because we want to know.
We want to know. But Blake, we do have 12 races this weekend in the Showdown, and one of them is the Civic Stakes at Randwick. I think it might be Randwick Race 8.
Yeah, that'd be right.
That'd be about right. Can you steer the punters into one?
I think it's a relatively tough race, which, given the fact that it is, I think, $4.60 the field, I thought that the favourite would be hard enough to beat, Tamerlane.
Yep.
He comes through the strongest race. I think that Scone... Was that the Scone Cup? What's that? 1300. It's not the Luskin Star. That's the Luskin Star. Yeah, that's the Coast Watch Amenable race. Amenable loomed up to win the
Stradbroke.
The Stradbroke.
Ran fifth, I think.
So he ran well in a Stradbroke since. So I think that's potentially the form. This bloke has been known to sort of bounce off that first up run in the past. He did enough there, but he can strip much fitter for that. Mac goes on, draws low, he'll make his own luck on the speed. The other one I thought, which he's also relatively well found, is Estadio Mastala.
Yep.
Estadio Mastala. It's going good. It's going very good. I think the heavy track has been against in his 2 runs this preparation. Last start, he was well supported. He got back, he was wide, and he was just doing his best little bit through the line. So now gets to 1,400 metres. I reckon they'll press the button on him. He did win. He ran. I don't know whether did he win. Yeah, I think he won third up last preparation, so he's third up now. I would be surprised if they don't put him into the race from the. You'd say it's a sticky draw in 9. But yeah, he's right there as well. But yeah, I like Tamerlane, and I'll probably be tipping Tamerlane on top. On top,
beautiful. The feature at Ipswich, I'm going to say it's the eyeliner. There's the Ipswich Cup, there's the Gay Waterhouse Classic, but I think the eyeliner, the 1350 for horses that sort of didn't quite make it into a Stradbroke, I think that's the feature at the mighty Bundamba Turf Club this weekend, which is race 8 at Ipswich. And What It Goes is going to be extremely hard to beat. He was a good winner 2 back there at Doomben over this trip, and then he went to the Spear Chief at Eagle Farm. He bumped into Yellow Brick. He carried, I think it was a kilo over what his allotted weight was, and he got beaten 0.8 of a length. So I'd say if James Orman had have made weight, What It Goes would be coming into this off a win in the Spear Chief over Yellow Brick, and he'd be the one to beat. But back in trip, the only slight little query, and I'm not going to tip you one at $2.30 for your Showdown. I'm going to tip you Cinnawon, Blake. He's been one of ours.
He's a bastard.
He is a bastard.
He's a real bastard.
He hasn't won for a long time.
Prick. I'd call him a prick.
Yep. I'm not a huge fan of the horse, but there's a few little things in his favour here, and one of those is getting back on top of the ground on Saturday. That's a big key to him. He's a duffer in the wet. He's a bit of a duffer, full stop. He's only won 3 from 30, but
he's got the ability.
He's got the ability, and I keep going back to his run in the BRC Sprint 12 months ago, where he was really hitting the line nicely down the middle of the track in a good race. That race always sort of stands up into the Stradbroke. It didn't this year, but I think, Villana ran 5th in it this year. Freedom Rally ran a narrow second, and he's run 4th in a Kingsford Smith Cup and won a Wayne Wilson since. So I'd say the form's okay. Barry 9, sticky as well. Jimmy Byrne on board. He'll get back. Might be enough speed in the race for him to rattle home at 30s and stick him in your Showdown. But What It Goes clearly the horse to beat.
Well, if Cinnawon wins, he'll definitely be going straight from my shithouse book to my good books.
You're going to have something on him?
Yeah.
If
you're pushing one at 30s, fair enough.
Yeah.
Have to have some on.
Got a DM of the week for you, Blake.
Oh, yeah? Fat.
Yep. Hello. You'll like this one.
Okay.
You can be given $1 million right now, or you get $50 for every shot you make from the free throw line for the next 12 months. All right, so you can have unlimited shots from the free throw line. Worked it out. You'd need to hit 20,000 free throws at $50 a pop to make your million, which is 55 a day. You can go for more.
Oh, I'd definitely take the $50 per free throw.
So you're basically
That would be my job for the next 12
yeah. I was going
months.
to say you'd take 12 months off work and
I'd spend 12 hours a day on the free throw line.
yeah. How many do you reckon you're making each day? If you're spending 12 hours from the free throw, I've seen you. I'm tipping you'd go all right. Your arms would get sore after a while.
They'd get sore.
You give yourself a day off here and there, like it's.
No, I wouldn't. You only get 12 months to prove yourself, so
Yeah.
and make as much money as you can. So I don't know what. I don't know. 300 an hour.
300 an hour.
That's a guess, but
That's
you'd
Yeah.
be doing more than 60 an hour, one a minute.
one a minute. You'd think so. Yeah. Okay.
300 an hour for 12 hours a day.
Yep.
Okay, let's just do the calculation.
For me, I'm a duffer from the. I'm no good. I'd need. I think 50. Oh, look, 55 a day is. I feel like it's achievable, isn't it? Like you're not.
Oh, that's not hard.
No, it's achievable. I'm a gambling man. The million would be hard to.
Yeah, so I'm going 300 times 12 hours a day times 52 times 50 per free throw. Is that right? Oh yeah, I think I can turn it into 9.36 million.
So you reckon you're getting closer to 10 mil
Yeah.
than 1 mil?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, no, that's easy. That's easy for me. So you're copping the mill?
I
You
don't-
copping the mill?
I think I'm going to cop the mill.
You cop the mill.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to
I
go
got
to the free
gammy
throw line.
shoulders.
You can just keep working.
If you're getting 9.3 mil, you might chip in.
Maybe. Yeah, you can have 300,000.
Yeah, make it 1.3 and we're laughing.
Nah, that's good. Yeah, I reckon I'm going 300 an hour. I'm working every day of the year for 12 hours a day to make 9.3 million.
Yep. 12 hours a day to make 9.3 mil a year from the free throw line. What do you think?
Get boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it would.
That's okay.
Like 12 hours, you're thinking, fuck me, like, am I still doing this?
But every time you go, it just goes, ching,
Ching.
Ding.
$50. $50.
Ding.
You'd probably need I'd probably want instead of like you've got the shot clock. Like I'd say I'd book out, not Madison Square Garden, but an equivalent, locally, and I'd be on a real basketball court, and I'd want the shot clock. I'd want that to be my tally of how much money I've made.
yeah, I'd like that as well.
So
And-
every time you make that shot, you just see the 50 tick over.
And I guess I could make that. I wouldn't have to go for 12 hours. If I made my 300 shots, I could knock off.
Okay, so
That
you're
could be
giving
it.
yourself 300 shots a day.
Yeah.
Like that's just your quota.
Maybe I could say 400. Because if I make
Probably.
300 in the first 3 hours,
Yeah.
so I can go get the extra 100. Imagine how good you'd be by the end
Well,
of
that's
it.
what I was going to say. Where does this open up more doors then? Because if you could say to someone, maybe start off in the NBL and say,
No, I
hey,
don't think so.
Look at me. I've made 88,000 free throws in the past.
You've got to be able to get to the free throw line. That's the problem.
Yeah, this is true.
You got to have a little bit of a rounded game.
Yeah, but you make the shots.
So you could go on to do like technical fouls and stuff like that.
Yeah, and just win the free throw and on you come.
Yeah, but there are other guys out there, Steph Curry, that can play and make free throws.
That's right. That is true. We haven't got a whole lot more to talk to, but we've flown through what we do have to talk to. So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, Blake, here. Okay, so a good friend of the page, the Mock Sports.
Oh, Mocky.
We heard Cashy on the
Cashy
on SEN this morning, and I thought Cashy had a very good point about SEN. I've heard a lot of them, of course, across different shows, but when it's being produced by the one company in SEN, you hear it from SEN, and there's been a lot of number one horses in the country, and Cashy called them out on it, and he got on there and gave his top 5 horses in the country.
Who were they? Was it Fangirl?
It was Fangirl, Pride of Jenny,
He put
Without a Fight, Mr. Brightside, and
Via Sistina.
Via Sistina.
Yeah.
So I think
Good stuff, Cashy.
I think it's an interesting top 5, but I thought on the spot, who is I don't necessarily need your top 5, but maybe a top 3 or a current best horse. You've always been a big I wish I win man. He hasn't done a whole lot, but he's had, I think, was it only 3 runs this preparation? He sort of just got beaten in a TJ, just got beaten in a Doomben 10,000.
Yeah, I think they're sacrificing his legacy to win at Everest. They're just eyes on the Everest, eyes on the Everest, eyes on the Everest. That's all they want to win. So, I think that's detrimental to his chances getting into a top 5 horses in Australia.
Obviously, like...
I think Without a Fight is definitely in the conversation.
Yep, I agree. It's a shame we didn't see him this autumn. Obviously, coming off the Cups double, that would have been great to see what he could have done, whether it be, an Australian Cup or a TJ.
It's always nice to see those sort of horses at least come back for 1 or 2 runs, even if they do have their sights on the Melbourne Cup Carnival. But to win a Caulfield Cup and Melbourne Cup in the same year,
only like second and third up as well. Like it's not like he had a big prep into those races.
He's a very good horse. So. He's in the conversation. Obviously, Pride of Jenny's in the conversation. She's bolted in an All-Star Mile. She's won a Queen Elizabeth Stakes in the fashion that she won that Queen Elizabeth Stakes, and then she's won a Champions Mile. So she's in the conversation for sure. And then you've got recently retired Imperatrice. She won 4 or 5 Group 1s this season. So I don't think she goes into the top 5 just because she's retired.
Where do you put a horse like Mr. Brightside? Like, he was probably going into the spring, into the autumn, he was probably a lock in your top 5, but I think now, maybe just because of Pride of Jenny and the way that she can get him out of his comfort zone, he's probably dropped out of a lot of people's 5.
Yeah, I think he drops out of the top 5.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But he's a very good horse as well.
You've got horses like Celestial Legend, who looks an up-and-coming star.
He looks a star. He does look a star. You could say potentially Broadsiding could be one that could progress into a top 5.
I have the opinion that Broadsiding still hasn't beaten anything.
He hasn't beaten anything.
He's been very good, like visually impressive, and the way that James Cummings, James McDonald, like these are better judges than I, and no horse is better, and J-Mac has got a big rap on him. But I want to see him beat one of the good 2-year-olds first, whether that be, I think a clash with like Stormboy at 1,400.
Well, you think Lineback is a pretty good horse?
Yeah, well, he's probably the only horse that I'm going to give any credit to. Linebacker.
So Lineback is a pretty good horse.
I think the others...
You'd think that he'd measure up against... Like what? She's the... what's her name? The one that the Golden Slipper winner?
Lady of Camelot.
Yes, she's the benchmark.
Yeah.
Even though... Who wins 2-year-old of the year? Is it Lady of Camelot? She probably should have won a Blue Diamond Stakes. She's come out and won our premier race in the Golden Slipper. Broadsiding's come on the end of the season and won 2 Group 1s. So when a bloke like James McDonald stands up in the irons, shakes his head at the performance, even though he doesn't have the data or the ratings to back it up, you just have to say, well, he must be a pretty good horse.
Because there's only a couple of horses he's done that on.
Yeah.
NMO Very Elegant, Broadsiding, 3 that I can
deal.
think of. Done deal.
Yeah, so there's not many that he's done that on. So you'd expect him to come back as a 3-year-old and take all before him. I'll be interested to see if he measures up in a Cox Plate, but definitely can't wait to see him.
There's a horse that I'm going to give a push for to be... He might not... He hasn't done enough to prove himself as a top 5 horse right now, but I think in time we'll be talking about him in this conversation, and that's Faulkner Park. The way he won that Q22 on Saturday, only his 17th race start. So Without a Fight won that race 12 months ago at his 20th race start, his second Australian preparation. Faulkner Park's been here just on 12 months now, but I think he won like a Kembla. Might have won his maiden at Kembla and then went to a class 3 at Doomben or something like that midweek and bolted in, and then they went to the paddock. But this preparation, he's just been airborne. I think he's won a Wagga Cup, an Albury Cup, no luck in a Doomben Cup, and then comes out and puts a field like that away in the Q22. Books his ticket into the Caulfield Cup now, which that Q22 race going into a Caulfield Cup, that's been the form the last couple of years. So I'm really excited to see what Faulkner Park does. I think he's he's well above average.
Yeah, well, I'd say he's got a little bit of a way to go.
Yeah, no doubt.
Until I could mention him into the top 5. But I'm just going into the futures markets to see if we're missing any horses. But I think I do think Fangirl's another one that James has done the head shake to. At her best. He did it, I think,
King
must
Charles?
have been
Or first up?
second up. Was it the one that she got to the outside?
Yeah, she beat something.
Yeah, I don't know that, but she bolted in that day.
Yeah.
I do think that she is one of the best horses in Australia. She should have won that Cox Plate.
Yeah.
Whether or not she can do it in a race that Pride of Jenny's in, but yeah, the way that she won first up last preparation, she is elite. But the fact that she went amiss in that preparation probably just pushes her outside the top 5. VS Sistine is very good. Given the SP of her in that Queen Elizabeth Stakes, she's probably thereabouts.
Yeah. This is just a little stat from Dan O'Sullivan, the ratings bureau, about Faulkner Park. So his rating his weight for age performance rating that he scored on Saturday in the Q22, 102.3. Without a fight 12 months ago, 101.5. Without a fight went on to run 104.7 in the Caulfield Cup and 108 in the Melbourne Cup. So that's just a little bit of a guideline to see where Faulkner Park
sort
of measures up against Without a Fight in the same time period. And now we get to see if he can go on and do that. But I think Pride of Jenny's the best horse in the country at the moment. Just solely what we saw in the autumn. Like, I've never seen a Group 1 win like that.
I haven't either.
Warmonger got close.
Amelia's Jewel.
No.
She's
not even close.
She'll be in the conversation.
Not in the top 20.
Come the end of the spring, we're going to be talking about Amelia's Jewel. So
I hope so.
We'll end on that note.
I hope so. But we will end on that note. Punters, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we can see you into a couple of winners, and good luck on the punt this weekend, and good luck in the UPC Showdown if you get involved.
Good luck, punters.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.